into the ball game as Paul McKeskey has become kind of a cult hero in Milwaukee, Tommy.
And good evening, everybody. Welcome to the latest edition of We Got Next. I'm Ricky Hampton with my great friend Paul McKeskey coming to you on a Monday. We got a little early tea time today, Mo. But I hope everybody out there is doing well, and thanks for tuning in a little earlier than usual tonight. Super Bowl week, Mo. It doesn't seem like many people are very excited about this matchup of
Nope.
Seattle, other than Seattle and folks in Boston.
Yeah, I know I'm not.
I'm not either, man. My goodness. But
everyone's gonna watch it. Everybody's gonna bet on it. Everybody's gonna watch the commercials. So
they have incredible ratings that Monday. People will have parties, not go to work the next day. So it's become almost like a holiday. But good luck to the Patriots and the Seahawks. But Mo, it's a big week in the NBA. The NBA trade deadline is coming up. And this is the chance for teams to retool and try to make a final run. And Mo, I wish somebody would trade for Giannis or do something with Giannis because I'm tired of hearing about where Giannis is going to go.
Well, that's every year it's like that, right? Somebody, somewhere. And most of the time, as we know, nothing happens. I mean, last year, Luka trade happened, Luka AD, and that was huge, but mostly it never happens. But here's when Doc Rivers said Giannis said he's playing this year. He didn't say where he was playing. So but it takes guts for a general manager and an owner to make a huge trade like that.
But Mo, unless somebody's going to do like Dallas did with Luka last year, to get a player of that caliber, you have to give up so much in terms of talent, picks, and all that. The money that he's going to cost.
Yeah, the money has to match. It has to be pretty similar. But it's on the Bucks. I mean, with or without Giannis over the last 5 years, either he was hurt or he's playing. They've been eliminated in the first round of the playoffs every year. So what are you going to do? You want to do that again? I mean, I watched them play the other night. They're terrible. I watched them play against the Celtics yesterday. They're bad. So, at some point you got to pull the trigger. And Giannis, even though he's hurt right now, his value is skyrocket. So, I think it's time for the Bucks to go young. So, get some young players and a lot of draft picks and do what OKC did and see if you can build a team for, in the next 3 or 4 years. So, I saw this floated out here, and it's not that bad of an idea. So, Milwaukee trades Giannis and Turner to the Golden State Warriors, and the Bucks get Kuminga, Podziemski, and 5 first-round picks over the next 6 years.
I would do that.
But you have to throw in Butler because of his contract to make that work. And you're going to have to pay Butler $56 million next year. But after that, it's expiring contract. So that's off his
do that. Yeah.
And Bucks' hands are tied. They have $22.5 million a year committed to Damian Lillard for the next 4 years. That's on their books. They're paying that, and it's on the salary cap. So, getting 5 or 6 first-round picks over the next 5 years, you're not going to be paying that huge salary out, and that'll get you past what you kind of the corner you kind of painted yourself into,
But Paul, I gotta say, if you'd have told me, when did they win the title? 5 years ago now, 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah. 6.
6 years ago, that they would be in this shape today. With Giannis still on the team, I'd be like, you're crazy.
Well, the first piece was the guard. Yeah, Holiday. He went to the Celtics, won a championship, by the way, but he's been traded since. And then the wing. Traded
Middleton,
Middleton. Those were the three big players. Those are the two with Giannis that won the championship. And over the last 3 years, they've been they've gotten older or hurt or they're gone. So it doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, that I still wow, just unbelievable. They're currently 18-29 in the 12th spot in the East. I guess good thing they aren't playing in the West because they might be even lower in the standings with all the good teams out West. Tell me this: do you think something's going to happen with him this week, Mo?
50-50 at the most, probably.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Yeah. I guess he's obviously the biggest piece out there on the trade market, and we'll get into some more trades. We got the All-Star team unveiled last night. Well, the reserves. Paul George suspended 25 games for violating the NBA anti-drug policy. Just kind of crazy, man.
Well, I don't know what that is. Something doesn't sound right. I think he was getting treatment for anti-depression or anxiety or whatever it was. And that's the big NBA thing now, right?
Yeah.
So if he was taking medication for that, he should get some leeway, even if it's on the list of, the book of medications you can't take that you get before every year. So I don't know. And 25 games is huge.
Yeah.
So, and also he's hurt, right? He's hurt too. So.
Yep, and
I don't know what's going on with that.
And Philly was starting to play a little better too. They're 27-21, won 3 straight actually, and they are in the 6th spot. So we'll see how that.
I'm gonna back to the Bucks. I watched them play the Celtics, and besides Giannis, the Bucks had Portis and they had Turner, who's playing horrible, by the way. He looks like a shell of himself from last year with Indiana Pacers.
Yeah, he was great.
He's missing open shots. He looks horrible. And the Celtics, besides Jaylen Brown, were playing all their backup guys, and still were kicking their butt. That's embarrassing. But
yeah, that's what they have in Milwaukee. Of course, the Knicks are supposed to be interested. Golden State. We kind of keep hearing the same team.
Knicks aren't doing anything. They've won 6 in a row. They're not doing anything. The Knicks are not doing anything. They're out for sure. But so I'll go back to that Golden State trade, right? If that happens, the Bucks get younger. They get an expiring contract in Butler next year. They get Kuminga, who's a talented player, Podziemski's 5 or 6 first-round picks, and it gives Golden State a legitimate shot at making a run for the next 2 years, right? Because Curry's going to be done. He can't play forever. So you put Giannis, Turner, Curry, Green, Moody, Hield, Horford, Post, Payton. They can make a run in the West with that team, but I doubt if that'll even happen.
Yeah. I'm just checking the wire out now, making sure we have not missed anything tonight. We did have one trade last week. The Cavaliers made a deal with Sacramento. They sent Hunter to Sacramento for Keon Turner, who's a pretty good player for them. And that's kind of a mid-level trade.
That's a clearing salary trade. That's what that is.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if that does anything for anybody. Who knows? I don't know.
Uh, that's about it there. But man, some of these teams that are out of it, Mo, why would you? Why wouldn't you not do something? I look at New Orleans 13-39. Not that they have a lot people want. Memphis 18-29. You used to hear John Morant being on the market. We don't really hear that now. Doesn't mean he can't get moved. Dallas is 19-30. We always hear about Anthony Davis. Of course, he's hurt again.
Yeah. I mean, you know, really. But how many times have I told you and the listeners this? Half the NBA is run by people that don't know what they're doing. That's a fact. That's a fact. Yes, that's a fact. So does it surprise me that low-level teams that don't know what they're doing don't do anything? No. I mean, I don't know why they wouldn't, but it doesn't surprise me.
I watched the Pistons play Brooklyn last night. They won by 53 points, Mo. It was really embarrassing. I mean, I wanted the Pistons to win, but that was embarrassing. The product that the Brooklyn put on the floor last night.
Yeah, it's embarrassing to the NBA. It's embarrassing to the league, and you know, I don't know. So, what are they doing? Who's the GM there? Who's the GM there? We don't know.
Yeah, we don't know. No.
I mean,
You have Michael Porter there. That is, he's been mentioned in some names. I didn't even know half the guys on the team yesterday. I knew Claxton, their center, who's a good player. But they went 5 minutes without scoring in the first half, and then 4 whole minutes. So in a 48-minute game, they went 9 minutes and didn't even score. I could have been on the court for them for those 9 minutes.
Yep.
It wouldn't have been any different.
Yeah, you could have been open and not shoot. That would have been good.
Oh my goodness! So I know. I'm sure the NBA would love for Brooklyn to be a little bit more competitive. And it wasn't that long ago, while we were still doing this show, Mo, that they had Durant, Irving, and it was one other guy.
They had Harden. James Harden.
and Kyrie said we could coach the team ourselves. So
yeah, and then they got Steve Nash fired, and now look.
My gosh, man.
None of those guys are there, and they probably had 3 coaches since then. You know?
My goodness. So hey, what did you think about the All-Star reserves?
I mean, it's interesting because there's 6 new players that have been picked that haven't been on the All-Star game team before. And Chet Holmgren is one of them, and he's been hurt. But the guy that really surprised me, that's his first All-Star game, Jamal Murray. It's his first All-Star game.
Yeah, I was surprised by that too.
That's mind-boggling to me. And I go back to when I played in the 80s in the Milwaukee Bucks, and we had an All-Star caliber forward named Marcus Johnson on our team. And I think he only made 1 All-Star game because Dominique Wilkins and Larry Bird were always voted on the All-Star team, you know, at his position. So, but Jamal Murray's, it's his first All-Star game. That's interesting to me, you know, and I think it's going to be exciting for the guys that haven't been there. And, you know, there's a couple left outs like Joel Embiid, who's been hurt, but he's playing better. He's left out. And Sengun, the young center from the Houston Rockets, who was on the team last year, he's been left out. But, you know.
You know, of course, LeBron has so many haters out there. Oh, he should have never made the team. He's a shell of himself as a player.
So he's a shell of himself, averaging 22 points, 6 rebounds, and 7 assists a game. That's a shell of himself.
And he's shooting 50% from the field, Mo.
Yeah, so I mean, so yeah, I mean, is it kind of a little heart tug vote? Yeah, but that's okay. He earned it. I mean,
He
so
gets,
he's averaging 22 points, 6 rebounds, 7 assists.
yeah.
Chet Holmgren is averaging 18 points, 8 rebounds, and 2 assists. So why aren't we talking about Chet Holmgren being on the team? He should be on. I mean, it's and there's always people out there that are going to talk like that, but I
Yeah.
mean,
Now you're right. And you mentioned something else. Even though we have the East and West All Stars, this is not how the game is going to be played.
yeah, I don't know why they're announcing it like this. It makes no sense to me. Why are they announcing the East and West starters and reserves when that's not how the game's going to be played? They're going to be split in 3 teams, 2 USA teams, and 1 world team. Why wouldn't you announce the teams like that then? I don't understand that. When are they going to announce those? The All-Star game's in 2 weeks. I'll be there. So why, who's playing who?
Yeah, I'm looking at the event will feature 3 8-player teams in total, 2 made up American players, and 1 international. They're going to compete in a round robin tournament of 12-minute games.
Yeah.
While the format is new, the selection process remains the same. To make the format work, the league roster has minimums. At least 16 American players and 8 international players must be selected.
They already are. Yeah, they already are.
So, yeah.
So how are you going to split them up?
Yeah.
I mean, we don't know who's so. Like, if you look at the world team, right, who I think is going to win this thing, it's a bunch of guys with single names. Cher has a single name, and Prince has a single name. Well, the world team has single names: Luca, Giannis, Joker, SGA, Wemby, and Murray. So they're all. I mean,
Yeah.
And then I would put the young Denny
I know you're talking about.
Avadehe. He's from Israel. He plays for
From
Portland.
Portland.
He's from Israel, so I put him on that team too. So it's gonna be. I mean, that's a pretty good team.
Yeah, that's why I believe we're in trouble when the Olympics come.
Yeah. But how are they going to split up the 2 U.S. teams? And who is doing that?
I don't know. It does not say in the story.
Yeah, so who knows? So if I was doing it, right? So if I had to start the 2 U.S. teams, I'd put Maxey, Cunningham, Curry, Siakam, LeBron, Donovan Mitchell on one team, and I put Brunson, Jaylen Brown, KD, and Booker, and Anthony Towns on another team. That's to start. There's other players out there too. I mean, are they gonna split the 2 teams up into the older U.S. team and the younger U.S. team? Are they going to mix them up and make them competitive? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if anybody knows.
Mo, I want to ask you about this situation too that occurred in Dallas.
Wait, before we go there, before we go there,
Go ahead.
I want people to understand the last 3 MVPs of the NBA are all on the world team. Giannis, Joker, SGA. The last 3 of every MVP of the NBA in the last 5 years, or those 3 players, are all on the world team, and that's not even counting Luka.
So, well, Paul, tell me this: does the world play better basketball than USA now?
They have as
You
much.
got a bigger pool to choose from, obviously. But
Yeah, but the U.S. team is still deeper, but the world team is probably more talented now. I mean, when we used to, the dream team and the second dream team and all that stuff, we played international teams that had 2, maybe 3 NBA guys on it. Now they might have at least 1 NBA MVP on their team, along with 3, 4, 5, 6 other NBA players, so they're not scared anymore. Canada is full of NBA players. They have 12 NBA players on their team, including Murray and SGA.
right. Yeah, when we first would go over there, the other team would try to get autographs before the game.
Yeah, I mean it's not so anymore. I mean, so you can think about the talent level in the NBA, in the United States, which is still the best in the world, volume-wise, but not talent-wise anymore. Because over the last 5 years, no American player has won the MVP of the NBA, the best league in the world. So there's your proof.
It's no doubt about that, man. Speaking of talent, we got some young talent coming up. Cooper Flagg had a terrific game the other night, Mo. 49 points for the Dallas Mavericks. And just like you said, he's having a typical rookie. He has some great games. He has some not so great games. But clearly, Paul, he's a very talented player. And he will be a future star in the league. His coach, Jason Kidd, got a question from a media member the other night. And before I go into that, I want to preface that because back when you heard that Jason was going to put him at the point guard position, you said that's going to be tough. And I want you to explain to us, why is it so hard for rookie point guards in the NBA? Let's do that first before we get to the thing with Flagg. Because it's not just Cooper Flagg playing point. It's any guy that comes in to play that position.
Yeah, I mean, any point guard that comes in from college and gets a starting position on an NBA roster is going to struggle. Totally different game. Players are bigger, stronger, faster, more athletic. There are more of them on the floor. You got to make split-second decisions. Am I driving? Am I shooting? Am I passing? Who am I passing it to? Should I pass to somebody in the corner that can't shoot? Or should I skip pass it to some? There's so many split-second decisions made by, the point guard in the NBA game. It's like quarterback in the NFL. Very hard to get, transfer over and have a good first year. Now, complicate that with Cooper Flagg is not a point guard. He's not a point guard, never played point guard. So what does that add to the difficulty of making that transition to NBA? Times 10? Times 100? I mean, that's why I said it was a huge mistake. He's a wing. He's an athletic wing. And I think he proved that over this week when he scored 49 points in one game, and the next game he scored 35 from the wing. He's a wing. So it's a tough position to play, especially if you've never played it before. Maybe he played it in grade school, but he's always been a wing/4. So it's very difficult.
Yeah, and he's a good passer for a wing.
Yes.
Right.
And he's a good decision maker from the wing. And he's a good rebounder from the wing. And he's a good finisher at the wing.
But Paul, it's just a step over.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, just like being an assistant coach in the NBA and saying, you know what? It's only 12-inch moves, slide over to the next seat. I'm the head coach. That's easy. It's not that big a deal. Now that I have to take care of all the timeouts and all the egos and all the strategy and take care of all the teams and all the players. Not that big a deal.
No, it's not that big a deal. It's just right over there, man. Come on, you can do it.
Yeah, but I mean, the game has become universal in the fact that, even centers and power forwards are now asked to do some guard stuff, like driving and kicking and making decisions. That's true, and it's going more and more in that way. But it's not as much as the point guard when you're running the whole show and you're running the plays and you're dictating who gets the ball, So, it's just a different animal. And that's why I told everybody at the beginning of the year, let D'Angelo Russell run the point, even though I don't like him as a player, but he's a true point guard, and let Cooper Flagg play the wing. But for whatever happened, D'Angelo Russell is up and down like he always has been. But now he doesn't even get in a game of a blowout. He just sits on the bench, doesn't even get up for timeout. So there's something else there. But Cooper Flagg is a superb player. Let him play his correct position.
Hey, one of these days, I'm going to put together some clips. We're going to do a show. All the things Coach Mo told you. We can do a 2-hour show on that.
I told you.
I told you. But this is what Jason Kidd said. A reporter asked him about why does he think playing Flagg at point guard was a mistake, and he just went off. He said, that's your opinion. You guys write that BS. That's not effing what I've done. I've played this game. I've played it. I know what the F I'm doing. But Mo, you're right about Jason, about Cooper Flagg. But as a former sports writer, I always knew the guys we're talking to, a lot more about decisions on playing guys, where you playing guys, because they have an intimate relationship with the team.
Yeah, reporters that do their homework and study some film, so that's great, and they know some stuff. But you've never been at a full practice. You've never organized a practice. You've never gone through strategy sessions in the coach's room. You've never put together a game plan. You've never put together a scouting report. And most of you have never played the game either. And that's what got him, I think, Jason really upset, because guess what? Jason played the game at the point guard position at a high level, and he's also coached at a high level. I believe he won a championship, correct? So he's pretty good at his job. So I agree with all that. But at the same time, I don't agree with the way he answered that question, because the more appropriate way, because Jason knows how hard it is to play point guard in the NBA and at any level, really. So, if he doesn't think that he made a mistake playing Cooper Flagg at the point guard to begin the year, then why aren't you playing a point guard right now? Answer me that. That's the question I would ask. And if I was in that situation, I'd say, you know what? I know what I'm doing. I've been in this game a long time. I've played the game. I've coached the game at the highest level. And that might not have been one of my better decisions. And that's why we changed. And that's why I'm not stubborn. And I made the move back to get him at the wing. And he's playing great now. Next question.
That's a great answer to that question, Mo, because that's what great coaches do. Great coaches don't always make the right decision, but they are quick to understand when they didn't make the right decision and proceed to correct it.
Here, I'll go one step further, because great coaches take responsibility for losses, even though it wasn't on them. Somebody missed a shot. Someone made a bad decision. Someone turned the ball over. Well, it's on me. I didn't put him in the right situation. I didn't put him. So actually, he had a chance to cover for one of his future players, Cooper Flagg, and say, listen, it was my fault. I shouldn't have put a great player, but a rookie in that situation early in his career. And that's on me, but we move on.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Hey, everybody, I see you out there. You're watching We Got Next. I'm Ricky Hampton, along with Paul Mokeski, former Milwaukee Bucks center, 12-year veteran of the NBA. Of course, you guys know all this by now. Send us your questions and comments. Hey, Mo, this is off topic, but we were talking about great coaches. I think Bill Belichick is a great coach, but right now he's still not a Hall of Fame coach.
Well, let's talk about the way he treated the media and stuff,
Thank
and
you.
and his opponents back in the day. He wasn't the most personable guy, right?
Thank
And
you.
let's face it, someone like the Hall of Fame, very prestigious, and it needs to be on records and numbers and years of high level coaching or playing. That's true, but it also it's a popularity contest to some point where if you've rubbed some people wrong over the years and they go, hey, I got a chance to get them back right now, they might take that shot at them.
And I guarantee you, I I said that when I heard the news, I said, yeah, baby, that was some payback. But I think it's wrong. Clearly,
Yeah,
he's a Hall of Fame coach.
yeah. I mean, and a first balloter
He's
too.
supposed, if
Um,
you're going to have a first ballot Hall of Fame coach. But you
yeah.
can't just, I mean, he was terrible with the media. On to Cleveland. Next question. No, yes. Come on, man.
You know who else was like that?
Who?
Greg Popovich. But he did it in a way that people thought it was funny or interesting, and he did that purposely. I mean, his in-game interviews are classic, right? With Craig Sager and those guys, and hey, what do you think we should do? What do you think you're going to do? You guys are down 10 points in the first quarter. You should score more points in the second quarter. But then, the reporter knew he was kidding them, and so
He and Craig Sager used to go back and forth all the time.
yeah, Craig Sager, rest his soul, was a great friend of mine, and I met him in Kansas when he was doing the Kansas City Royals games when I was at Kansas University, and so I met him there. But yeah, but they both knew it was a jest, and you know what? We knew it too. We could feel that. But Bill Belichick's
No.
conferences were uncomfortable. They were a jest.
Yeah, man. That's so. Hey, he'll wait a year. They're gonna make him wait. Another. This is NBA and college. Question I had for you, Mo. Your Kansas Jayhawks are coming on strong as we head towards March. Yes, sir. And the Peterson kid there is a terrific player, but some people are, but the scouts like him, but can't quite figure him out.
Well, it's his on-court talent is undeniable. I play against some great players, and he scores as easily as anybody. It's only college yet; it's not the NBA, but he could get to the basket. He did a dunk Saturday that was unbelievable on two people, and then he hit threes, and he can get to the basket, and he's that level offensive player, and he's a pretty good passer too. So on the court, it's not a question that he's a top 1 or 2 pick, and he's unfortunately, when they came here to Vegas and I went to 2 games, he wasn't playing then. He's only played in 11 of their 22 games, so that hurts right there. And I think he's a little smaller. I thought he was like 6'8" or 6'9", but I see he's about 6'6". He's built kind of like Anthony Edwards and Michael Jordan. Okay. He's built like Michael Jordan. He's got that body. He's got that athleticism. He's probably more offensively skilled than both of those guys were coming out of college. So that's one thing, and that's great. I mean, he had 18 points against BYU, who has the number 1 or 2 pick on their roster.
AJ, the best guy.
Yeah, who is 6'8" or 6'9", but he had 18 points in the first half in about, 17 minutes. But then he only could play a little bit in the second half, and he didn't get back in the game when the Jayhawks were up by 20, but then they were losing their lead. It was going down. It shrunk down to 6 or 5, and they couldn't put him back in because he has cramps in his quad, I think. And that's a problem if you only played in half the games, and in most of those games, you only play half the game. So you've transferred that thinking, if I'm thinking as a general manager or head coach or an owner, so I want to pick this guy, phenomenal player. I mean, he could change our franchise around in a second. But we play 82 games. I don't even know if he'll play 40 of them. He might only play 30 of them and miss the other 50. And then in those games, they're not 40-minute games, they're 48-minute games. So how many minutes of a 48-minute game can he play? So do I really want to take him with the first or second pick when I know his history says he's not going to be able to be on the floor? And Ricky, what do we always say? What's the best ability?
Availability.
Yes. See, you're listening, you're learning. The best ability in basketball is availability now. Be on the floor when they need you for the most games and the most minutes. So that's a problem, a question that these guys, there was 20 of the NBA 30 teams at that game watching both those guys Saturday and making decisions. And if I'm scouting him, if the game was 20 minutes, I'm picking him right now. But the game was 20 minutes. And the other disturbing thing I read, a little insider information, that during the second half, early in the second half, his agent was in the audience in the arena, and his agent went over to the assistant athletic director of Kansas and talked to him for a little bit. Then the assistant athletic director at Kansas walked down to the bench and talked to the trainer. And then the kid, when he heard what he was saying, shook his head like, I think he wanted to go back in, but they weren't going to let him go back in. So that's another problem you have to think about.
And you know what, Mo? As good as he is, with what you said, I'm not drafting him. I'm not drafting, because I've seen guys who tremendous talent, and they do you no good. Zion Williams. I know what that looks like. John Morant, I know what that looks like.
Yeah,
I reliability on that draft board and availability got to be high on that list.
Yeah, especially if the kid from BYU and Peterson are both 1 and 2, and I have 1, I'm gonna pick the other kid. He's 6'8", he's playing, but at the same time, Ricky, then you could be the lowly Portland Trailblazers that picked Sam Bowie over Michael Jordan. And you're that guy, Ricky. You did that.
Yeah, that is true.
So that's what they're afraid of. They're afraid of that a lot.
And that is really that's going to be interesting to see how that.
But you're right, though. When Zion was at Duke, he was by far the lock for the first pick. He was changing your team, and he was going to be the new face of the league. Remember that? He was the new face of the NBA. And if you can't be on the floor, you can't be the face of the NBA. When he's on the floor, Zion is a handful. I mean, he averages 22 points and 10 rebounds, whatever, but he's only played half the games also.
Shoots a high percentage. From the floor. Yeah. Hey, Paul, and we're kind of jumping around here on the NBA tonight. I watched the Knicks and Lakers last night. Knicks have won 6 straight. They're coming on strong. And I keep hearing people say, Detroit's first place comfortably, 6 games, 5.5 games. But the Knicks are the team to beat. Mo, I like the Pistons matchup with the Knicks. If the Pistons have everybody this time, they didn't have Stewart last time. Because here's what I don't like about the Knicks is that Brunson just has the ball so much. And I think the Pistons will get after him with Thompson and Holland. They got a bunch of guys who can guard. I think that's going to be a bad matchup for them.
I think it already is, right? I think the Pistons' record against the Knicks is pretty good, right?
They beat them a couple times already.
Yeah, so matchups are huge in the playoffs in the NBA. They're huge. And but you know the biggest difference why like I saw the Knicks play and they beat the Spurs and they beat, you know, here in Las Vegas early on and I said they have the whole package. Anunoby's playing well. You know, they have the whole package. But they've kind of struggled a little bit. Brunson's been hurt, but now they won 6 in a row. And they are kind of the head of the East when the playoffs come around. But what changed my mind with the Detroit Pistons is they're young, they're inexperienced, but they had no big guy. And now Jalen Duren is the big guy that's owning the paint, and he's an all-star now. 2 months ago, no one was talking about him as an all-star. So that changes my mind where, you know, if I was a betting man and the Knicks were playing the Pistons in the semis or finals of the East, I might put my money on the Pistons now with the way he's played.
But Mo, what worries me with the Pistons, and people ask JB about it all the time, you need to trade for a shooter. You need to trade for a shooter. And JB's like, of course we like to have guys that can knock it down, but we are attacking the paint. But Mo, 3 is more than 2.
Yeah, and they got Duncan to shoot, right?
Right.
And I haven't looked at his stats. I think
40%.
yeah, so he's doing his job, but I agree. I think you have to have another one. You know, on the other side, you know, there's some shooters out there. Green for the Bucks. You know, guys like that are knockdown shooters that you could probably get for a inexpensive price. You know, or maybe a draft pick and a younger player or something. And if I'm the Pistons, I am looking at that because you can't have only one shooter out there and be driving all the time. And if he's out, who shoots? And if you drive and he's covered, who'd you pass it to if you can't get to the rim?
But everybody wants Thompson, the twin, and they don't want to move on Thompson.
Yeah, I don't think I would either. But I'm not.
But he can't shoot a lick. I love him.
Go get some other Thompson. Go get Klay Thompson. You could get him for a ham sandwich right now. The way Dallas is playing, go get him. Yeah. He only has to play 20 minutes.
Great fit. Yeah.
He only has to play 20 minutes and knock down shots and give Duncan a rest. See, that's why I should be a GM. That's why
you are damn right about that, Mo. And not only that, when you got a guy who is a threat to shoot it, whether he makes it or not.
Yeah.
Because when Thompson gets the ball, everybody just backs off him.
Yeah, but if Klay Thompson gets the ball, everybody's up on him, and they're trying to deny him the ball. Go hey, Pistons, listen to me. Add a Thompson. Do it now. You got 3 days. Do it.
Yeah, absolutely. You're watching. We got next. I'm Ricky Hampton with my great friend Paul Mokeski. We're just kind of kicking it around tonight, talking a little NBA hoops, the trade deadline. Hey, how good are your Jayhawks, Mo? If Peterson is playing, how far can they go?
Well, when I saw them play here in Las Vegas in person, and Peterson was not playing, and they were posting up Badunku, the big center. That's what they were doing, focusing in on getting it to him, and Tiller, who's their power forward, who's come along really well, and that was their game plan. But then when Peterson came, they became more of a perimeter team. I didn't like that. But over the last few weeks, they've combined them. And, one thing they've learned how to do, they've learned how to play with Peterson when he's in the game and without him when he's out of the game. Because, like, last Saturday, they beat a good BYU team. Of course, it was in Allen Fieldhouse, and that place was rocking. It was loud. But Peterson carried them, had 18 points in the first half, and they had a 20-point lead. But then he barely played in the second half, and they had the other players. Tiller stepped up, and then they won. They made a run a little scary, but they won by 8 or 10 points. So that combination is good. So if Peterson's healthy, they can be a Final Four team. They're still learning. Coach Self is saying they're still learning about each other. But Tiller, who is a great power forward and really come along and starting to make some shots, he adds to that. They have that combo as bigs, and they got 5 or 6 wings that can play. So I like their chances now than I did when they were kind of wishy-washy going back. Is Peterson playing? Is he not? Which is still kind of a problem.
Yeah, Arizona's ranked #1 in the coaches and the AP poll. I hadn't seen a lot of them. I've seen Michigan. They're a very good team. Michigan State's a very good team. That was a good game the other night.
Yeah, then Michigan State just ran all over them, didn't he?
No, they lost.
Oh, they did? Michigan State beat Michigan?
Yeah, no, Michigan beat Michigan State. It was fairly close. I think they beat them 7-8 points. But Mo, and there was some hard field, that's a rivalry game. So
yeah, but I watched some. That was physical, man. That looked like the old NBA of the '80s.
Well, but Mo, and I love talking and hearing smart basketball coaches. I had the pleasure of covering Izzo early in his career, and just a very studious guy, always trying to learn something. But he said something the other night I wanted to ask you about. He typically pull a player if he has 2 fouls in the first half. But he said, if it's somebody I try, it depends on the player. Some guys I'll let go. But then he said, it depends on the refereeing crew who was calling the game. I never heard that.
Of course.
I mean, that's thinking deep, man.
Yeah, but of course, I mean, not only do you have to have confidence, I'm going to stick with this guy in the game, because you know what happens when the guy gets a second foul and he looks over the bench and says, I'm okay. Trust me, I'm okay. Well, I don't trust half of you, so don't worry about that. I'm not going to trust you. I'm going to trust my coaching staff and my knowledge. But you got to know, and these coaches know, I can trust XYZ in the game because he's not going to do some silly foul. I can't trust this guy because he always makes silly fouls. So that's one thing, but it's also the referee crew, not necessarily, individually, but as a group, and how the game's being called. Games are being called really close, shoot a lot of free throws. They're letting them play, you shoot less free throws. And when you let them play, there's less of a chance of a ticky-tack foul or a silly foul. And so I'm going to have more leeway of leaving my player in. But, yeah, all those decisions are weighed, But I think the main one is the player. Do I trust him? Yeah. And most of the time that answer is no. Hell no.
You had guys tell you that while you were coaching?
All the time. Then they'll walk by you when you take them out and, hey, I wouldn't foul, coach. Yeah, okay, go sit down. Yeah, okay. we got you in the second half. Don't worry about it.
I love it, Paul.
But also, you got to put the third part of that equation in there also. How is the game going? Right. So are you in a situation where if one of your best players has 2 fouls, and if you take them out or the other team is making a run and they're going to blow you out by 15 or 20 in the first half, you got to roll with your best player and hopefully keep it, within 8 or 10. So that's the third part of that equation. The referee crew, how they're reffing the game, the players individually, and the game, the flow of the game. I mean, if you're on a roll and you got things going and one of your guys that's usually a backup is knocking down threes, you can sit your guy and feel like a lot of times, and that happens if a guy gets 2 quick fouls and you take him out right away, you're going to see how the game is going. So you got to take him out with 10 minutes left, and you're still up 8. And now it's going back and forth, and they cut it to 6, but you get it back to 8, and you're still in there, and there's only 3 minutes left. You go, okay, we can make it through the half. But if you take them out, and now your 8-point lead is now you're down 6, you got to put them back in and try and get it back.
And did you ever explain to a player, look, I don't want you to stand there and let guys just go right by you, but your presence is more than 2 points. If you know you're beat to the basket, did you ever tell, okay, just let them have this? You never say that.
Well, not in college for sure. I mean, you got to play solid defense and don't do any stupid fouls. Don't foul in the backcourt. You know, don't foul a rebounder who just got the rebound. Don't reach in when you don't have to. Just move your feet. But that does come into play later in careers in the professional ranks. Overseas in European basketball, that happens all the time because I need you on the floor. If I'm on a team and I have two Americans on my team and they're the best players, you can't foul out. So I'd rather have you let somebody get a layup than maybe make a questionable foul. That happens in Europe a lot, but
You,
not
you,
not in college.
but you know when I see the most silly fouls is after a guy misses a shot thought he should have made, then he'll go down there and reach in and try to get a steal or something. And,
Yep.
and it's a foul.
You know what? I tell those guys, listen, you missed a shot. Don't compound it by making a stupid foul. Get back, play solid defense, and you'll make the next shot. Don't worry about it. But you're right. It's an emotional game, and that's where your players, some are more mature than others. You know, some get frustrated faster. You know, so, you know, I mean, I mean, back in the bad boy days and all that stuff, everybody knew what players you could push, their buttons. Give them a little shove here, a little elbow there, and they're going to react and get a cheap foul, maybe a technical. That's true all the time. So, you know, if you're a player, if I'm a coach in Michigan and I'm playing Michigan State, and I know there's a guy, their starting center, he's going to go off the rails. You know, if I give him a little extra push or something, you know, you do that all the time. So you got to trust, you know, you can't have players that do that.
Yeah. Hey, I'm just looking at this coming in off the wire. Sabonis may be on the market for the Sacramento Kings, the big 6'10" center. He probably his career average is probably 16, 10 rebounds a game. Or
Yeah, I mean,
I
I
don't know
talked
what
about
he
this.
cost.
I talked about this before. He won't cost that. Sacramento is terrible. They're gonna make a move. Use it. So if I'm Golden State and I can't do that big Giannis thing, I'm gonna call Sacramento. Say, hey, we would love to have a Sabonis. How good would he look on Golden State's roster? So we'll give you Kuminga, who's a great young player, and we'll give you 4 first-round draft picks for Sabonis.
Who's at fault with this situation with Kuminga, Mo, in your opinion?
With what?
With the Kuminga situation, and
I don't know. I'm not in the rooms. I don't know, but something's wrong because he's been in that situation for a while. I could see a year or so ago he was with a veteran team and a veteran coach, and he made silly mistakes on the floor. He would do a spectacular dunk and make a spectacular play, and then do a stupid foul, throw the ball away, and if you have a veteran team and you're trying to win, you can't have that. But over the years, he's gotten better. His game has gotten better, but there's something there because you remember at the beginning of the year, he was starting. The Kuminga turmoil was over. He started and he was playing pretty good. 16, 18 points, doing the right thing, but something is there between he and Steve or the teammates or something that's just not clicking, and it could be him. Sometimes players do say bad stuff or their people say stuff, and that's why certain people aren't elected to the Hall of Fame in the first ballot. That's why.
So Mo, if I played with the Bucks, my bat wouldn't go too well with you guys.
No, it wouldn't go very well with Nelly, and it wouldn't go well with me, Sid, Jack, any of those guys. We're like, you know what? You do your my bad from the bench. Go sit over
there. Hey man, Mo, we're gonna get out of here just a couple of minutes early. I got a big game to get to tonight.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts?
Yeah, the most important final thought is tell your son to go with his gut and make the right decisions tonight. Have his team playing hard and together, like I told him on the Zoom call a couple of weeks ago, and everything's going to work out. Play by play. Next play. Don't forget about the future. Don't worry about the future. Take care of business while you're on the court.
But Mo, that's hard to do for guys at the high. Why is it such a difficult thing? It sounds so simple. It's an
It is.
emotional game, obviously.
Yeah, but I mean, so when there's a zillion coaches that on their whiteboard before the game talking about before you go out, play hard, play together, and play smart. Is that hard?
No.
Play hard, play together, and play smart. That's simple. Well, how about my 3x3 second rule? When you catch the ball, you have 3 seconds to do 3 things. If you're open in your range, shoot it. If the lane is open, drive it. And if your teammate's open, pass it to them. But it's so simple that it's hard.
I always love the board you got behind you, Mo.
Yeah.
Good teammate, good attitude, coachable.
There's 6 skills up there, and there's 6 things that help the team and help you as a player that have nothing to do with skill.
Yeah, play hard, high motor, absolutely. And well, we're gonna get out of here. Mo, we had a bunch of people watching. Nobody wanted to talk to you tonight.
That's okay. Spread the word, man.
We appreciate. Hope your team wins the Super Bowl this week. We'll be back next Monday. For Paul Mokeski, I'm Rick Hampton. Peace, everybody. Have a great week.
Spread the word.
Oh, Canada.
Put on a suit, drink water, don't drink and drive. Hey, man, call your mother.
It means nothing. It means nothing.
Nah, they lying to you. It's about the money.
Now you're more fluent.